So listen carefully. If you are an African child, you should listen carefully because what I'm about to tell you right now is what only few African children are aware of. So you're privileged to be to watch this particular discourse or to listen to this particular discourse right now. So listen carefully because this thing that I am to tell you right now is not what they will teach you in your university studies because the curriculum of Nigeria and the curriculum used in African schools for the African children is not a program or arranged that they should be taught this aspect of life or this reality of life. And the African leader seems to have forgotten this aspect of life, so they wouldn't want to tell the citizens of the different African nations that they lead. The aliens, the aliens uh, actually called us Africa or gave us the name Africa in the 19th century after the Berlin Conference, which actually took place in 1884 to 1885. So it was during the 19th century that they came up with the idea to politically call us Africa, and the name as seems to remain. We all know ourselves as Africa. There's nothing wrong about that, but you must understand that we were originally known as the Alkebulan. Alkebulan is simply a word that means the Garden of Eden or the mother of mankind. So, because in the real sense, we are the mother of mankind, the story that was narrated in Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2 and possibly chapter 3 talks about the African people or the Alkebulan. That is the land, the Garden of Eden. In it, we have all the precious stones, and the aliens, the enslavers, the colonizers are fully aware of this, that Africa is blessed with all this. That is why they came up with a plan in their meeting, precisely the Berlin conference. In that particular conference or that meeting, plans were put in place and decisions were also put in place, and formulas for which they could help achieve their plans were also put in place. So they divided our cable line into different parts to be controlled by these different people. So they are to come to Africa with a competitive mindset or a competitive race that they should extort or exploit or take resources from Africa to build their own world. Now, that practice, that competitive idea of these enslavers or these aliens down into African country or nation is what I call racism. So they actually run down to Africa here for the purpose of competitively taking that which belongs to the African people to their own world. So today we have people, we have the France in Niger and other area. We have the Britain in Nigeria. We have so many of them in different parts of the country of different nations in Africa. So the 14 people that were in this Berlin conference, among these 14 nations, no African nation was there with them. France was there, Germany was there, Britain was there, Italy was there, Russia was there, Portugal was there, Spain was there, Turkey was there, United States of America was there, Sweden, Norway was there, Denmark was there, Belgium was there, and Austria-Hungary was there. These are the 14 nations that were gathered during that 18th century in Berlin, Germany, to have the discourse on how they can take control of the resources that God has naturally endowed and invested in the African land, the Alkebulan. So they discuss out this all, and that is what we are seeing happening in our different nations today. So these 14 countries are to exploit, are to take resources from different nations to their own part. Now, if there's any nation that is tired of the oppression of any of these 14 countries, you see another one coming out to play a good brother to that African nation. Like what is happening currently now in Niger. The France are leaving, and Russia is coming to play the good brother to the Niger people. And so we've seen that President Ibrahim Traore uh, of sorry, I'm talking about Burkina Faso precisely, and also even Niger anyway. We've seen the President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, a very young, brave president of age 35, trying to make to try to tie a better relationship with Russia. And I want to believe that the Russia also making plan to extend their hand of good friendship to the Niger. Because of course, if Burkina Faso is to support the Niger, then Russia is also supporting the Niger. So you see, Russia was one of the 14 countries that that had the meeting in the conference, the Berlin. And so if France is not doing it well in Niger, and they want to go, if France try to make any move that would seem to be odd, Russia will play the good brother and will come in and be good to the Niger people, just like he is trying to do right now with the Burkina Faso. But the actual aim is that whatever gain, whatever profits, whatever resources Russia could get from this country, of course, when they return back to their round to the 14-man table or the 14 nations table, which forms the Berlin stuff, the benefit or the proceed or the dividend that Russia will get from its relationship with these different African countries, of course, will be shared or will still be given to the French. This is the system. This is the system. So if you are an African, any African country is trying to make relationship with another foreign country or the aliens, if this alien country you're trying to make relationship with right now falls is one of the 14 countries that were in this Berlin conference, you should understand here quickly that you are still trying to do the same mistake. I actually watched one of the videos, one of those ancient videos or old videos about is it Amadu Bello? Sure, the first prime minister of Nigeria, how he was welcomed or received by the British government and the citizens in one of his visits. That prime minister of Nigeria, the first prime minister of Nigeria, he was treated like a god in that visit. He was treated like a god. Now, the aliens are good at this. It should not be new to you. I could tell you here as an Afro theologian that the aliens or the enslavers or the colonizers are practically the example of Satan defined in the Bible. Just like Satan deceived Adam by bringing the fruits to Eve, is what the aliens are also doing to the African people. So the serpent there, of course, you know that the aliens have a serpentine spirit. They are very cunning. So the aliens will bring ideas, will bring the product, will bring the good formulas to African land, which is the Eve, and the African leaders, the Adam, will look into it. Because of their greed, they would accept everything without considering the citizens of that particular land. That is what we are having today. That is what we are going through right now in our different African nations. The aliens wouldn't let go of the African people at all because of the investment they believe they have done in African nations, because of their plans that they have put in African nations. They want to reap the dividend, they want to reap the profit, they want to reap the benefit of whatever they have done in Africa for life. So they wouldn't want to let it go. You just need to break yourself out. You are the one that will do that. You are the one that will do that. Recently, we've heard that the Berlin or Germany have rendered a comment or a statement that seems to have in that the Niger people getting support from them, because of course the French are actually leaving Niger right now. These people are just one. They are just one. They wouldn't let Africa go. So it is the African mind that will need to break himself out from these chains of colonialism and imperialism. You need to break your chain, break the chains on your legs, on your neck, on your hands. You just need to break the chains. Otherwise, they would never let you go. They will never let us go. They will never let the African mind go. They will never let the African nations go because of the resources they have in mind to keep taking from the African land. Remember, I said Africans are called the Alkebulan, which is the Garden of Eden or the mother of mankind. And of course, if you study your Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2, you will see all the resources, endowment, blessings, investment that the Creator has put in the African land. The white man, the aliens, the colonizers, the Europeans, they are aware of this. They know that African land is so blessed. And so whatever cunning method they can apply, they will apply it and keep on putting Africa in a perpetual chain. See, Africa is the sustainer of all foreign nations. But it's not what? These foreign nations have made Africans to believe that they are the ones sustaining Africans. It's not true. It's not true. The African child need to start rediscovering this and reconstructing a better view about life. Because the aliens will not let African go. That is their plan. So if for example, Britain colonized Nigeria, for example, and if Nigeria stand up tomorrow and say, we are tired of your kind of support in Nigeria, we don't need your support anymore, we want to stand alone, we don't need you in Nigeria. I recently heard, if it is true, I don't really know, that the use of dollar and all foreign currencies has been banned in Mali. So if you're caught using those currencies in Mali, of course you'll be jailed. If African countries start acting that way, then this European country or these aliens or enslavers or colonizers will understand that something funny is about to happen to their own world. Because truly, Africa is the one sustaining these countries. Every foreign country that you could ever think of, that you could ever mention, you understand that they have their trace of blessings or increase down to Africa. We sustain them. So, the African child should wake up. You should wake up. The African child, the African countries, the African nation can stand on their own and start building. Look at it. The coup in Niger and other African countries, ECOWAS, want to unleash a war against a fellow brother. Meanwhile, the citizens of Niger are happy or seem to be happy that such kind of coup occurred and they have got a new leader. But yet, you want to make them to accept the one they don't want. Because the foreign bodies are pressurizing the ECOWAS body. And behold, the ECOWAS body happen to be a president of Nigeria. And so all these pains, all these things, they are just trying to put in place to keep on dividing the African people. To keep on separating the African people. Yes. These are the formulas. So when there's a division now in the African continent, or among the nations in Africa, so the same set of people, the same 14 nations that are the Berlin Conference, they will split themselves again and say, you, this group, go to the other party, this group, go to the other party, try to work with them, try to support them, give them ammunition, support them, with whatever you can use to support them, just support them. Because we know at the end of the day, if the war is finally come to an end and everything is settled, we have a lot to keep on reaping from them. Hey, African nations, ECOWAS, we don't need separation in Africa. We need a united Africa, African unity. We need to understand our true Africanness. Every African child should understand his true Africanness. Because Africa is a blessed land. You need to understand this. We need to wake up. We have lived in this type of state for such a long time. We need to wake up and put Africa in a better state and return back Africa to Al Kabula, that blessed land, the Garden of Eden, that blessed mother of mankind. We need to return Africa to that state because Africa is truly a great nation. We need to bring Africa back. We have wonderful, skillfully oriented youths in Africa. Wonderful scholastic youths in Africa. Hey, we've studied all this Greek education into us so that we can make Africa a better place. That you must understand. We need to wake up. We should stop this war among African nations. ECOWAS, Nigeria, Ghana, and whatever, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, everyone come together and build a better African world. Build a better African world. Have one voice, have one currency, have one language. Build Africa and make Africa a better place for existence. That is the wish of our ancestors. And let the wish of our ancestors, let the prayer of our ancestors, let the desire of our ancestors be fulfilled. This fighting will not help anyone. Wars will not help anyone. Destruction will not help anyone. Leaders in African nations, sit up and lead well. Sit up and lead well. Because if you do not lead well, the people that want a better change in Africa, of course, will take over from you. Whatever means they choose to do that, they will take over from you and put Africa in a better state. Because we all desire to have a better African world. So let's wake up. African child, wake up. Those that are well schooled, use whatever you've learned in your university education to put Africa in order. Do not molest, do not subdue, do not oppress a fellow African man. Reject every kind of oppressive leadership formulas the aliens must have put in you and be a better leader and lead African people to that peak of success where our ancestors will be pleased and the creator of the African people will be pleased also for the height that we have been able to attain as a result of submitting to his will for mankind. So let's wake up and become true African people with a complete Africanness. Don't forget, Afrotheology is out to promote the values, customs, tradition, religiosity, spirituality, and the Africanness of African people. Share, ask a question, and invite your friends to be part of Afrotheology. Thank you.